After more than 2 years of non-stop traveling, we've changed a lot since we started.
Yeah, we've learned a lot about travel, but also about ourselves and about life.
And it didn't come from one big dramatic moment.
It came little by little while figuring things out in places that felt unfamiliar. So in this video, we're sharing the lessons that changed us.
And at the end, we'll tell you which of these mattered most to us. I'm Noelle.
I'm Jonathan.
And we're sharing our adventures around the world.
And what we experience along the way.
We're travel living.
Life lesson number 1. Home is a feeling, not a place.
This one sounds cliche until you live it. Then you realize it's true. Home is not where your stuff is. It is not where you grew up, where you have lived the longest, or where you sleep at night.
Home is where your heart is, and the strange thing is, your heart is portable if you let it be.
It does not help to leave your heart behind, longing for some distant place, or imagining the grass is greener somewhere else.
The more we traveled, the more we realized that traveling is just living, but in an unfamiliar place.
And if you can get good at life, you can get good at travel. The skills transfer both ways.
We had both moved as kids to new states and changed to new schools, but this lesson did not fully sink in until we started moving more often. Like now, we move every month.
We stopped leaving pieces of ourselves behind. We took everything with us. Our home, including our hearts.
A home is not permanent. It's not defined by time or square footage.
A home is meaning, and we choose where to place that meaning.
A house holds your things. A home holds your heart.
And once you realize home is not a house, you start questioning how much a house really needs. Life lesson number 2. You don't need as much stuff as you think.
Imagine packing a bag for a week. Now a month. Now a year.
It was not long ago that we had a lot of stuff. 2 cars, furniture.
Drawers full of small items that add up.
This video isn't to list specific things we no longer needed. That could be its own video.
But when we started moving more often, we kept asking one question. Do we really need this?
The day everything fit into our backpacks, I almost expected to feel less.
Instead, there was just joy.
Nothing felt missing. It felt like we gained space, mentally and emotionally.
And I get it. I am pretty sentimental. I cried getting rid of a lot of things. But looking back, I do not miss a single item.
It makes sense. Most of that stuff you hadn't seen in years.
There's an old wisdom in Southeast Asia. The lighter you travel, the farther you go.
And when you carry less, it becomes much easier to change direction.
Life lesson number 3. Flexibility is more valuable than planning.
Some of our favorite memories were not planned at all.
We had an Airbnb in Italy that turned out to be unlivable. It was moldy, humid inside. Apparently there was a leak all winter that no one knew about.
We had planned to stay for weeks. Instead, we were stressed and unsure and didn't even want to stay the night.
But because we were flexible, the next day, we had a unique experience that took us on a ferry across the Adriatic Sea to Albania.
And Albania became one of our favorite places.
Not to say that planning doesn't matter, we plan all the time, but plans should bend.
Without flexibility, anything unplanned feels like an inconvenience.
Modern life schedules everything, which leaves no room for surprises.
Flexibility is not doing nothing. It is movement without rigidity.
We underestimate our ability to adapt and course correct. We think everything must be figured out first, but it doesn't.
Even if you make a mistake or book the wrong Airbnb, you can almost always change course, and these detours can make the journey more meaningful and memorable.
Being present beats predicting, every time.
Life lesson number 4. Living abroad changes how you see your home country.
Leaving teaches you things about the place you left that staying never could. It's kind of counterintuitive.
You notice habits you never questioned, customs you were blind to.
You also learn what you miss and what you do not.
Distance creates contrast, and that contrast creates deeper understanding.
If you go on a journey and return unchanged, what was the point?
We learned as much about our own country abroad as we ever did at home.
Sometimes you realize your own country is not as unique as you thought.
And sometimes you see what makes it special for the first time.
The road teaches what the house cannot.
And the more places you go, the more you notice how similar people really are.
Life lesson number 5. People are more alike than different.
Cultural differences dissolve faster than you expect.
Even when you do not share words, you share gestures, expressions, curiosity.
In Japan, we often knew exactly what was happening without speaking the language.
And then there was Romania when we ordered at Domino's and they accidentally gave us the cream cheese filled crust.
We didn't even know that was an option, but a mistake turned into our favorite pizza.
From then on, that was the only crust we ordered.
We were also surprised by how familiar grocery stores felt in Taiwan.
A smile translates faster than vocabulary.
Before language, before explanations, the heart understands first. Life lesson number 6. Travel doesn't fix you, but it does give you an opportunity to live differently.
Sometimes travel gets talked about like a cure. Like if you just travel, everything will fall into place.
That you'll find yourself, or heal yourself, or become a new person.
But we do not think travel fixes you.
You're still the same person.
But travel does give you something rare, a chance to interrupt your life.
Different surroundings, surrounded by different people, different atmosphere.
It becomes easier to change because your familiar triggers aren't there.
But the opportunity only matters if you take it.
If you live the same way everywhere you go, nothing really changes.
Travel does not do the work for you. It gives you the space to do that work yourself.
You don't find yourself, you practice yourself.
And none of that matters much if you do not have this.
Life lesson number 7. Health is still number 1.
This is something that we've always known, but the more we traveled, the clearer this became.
Your health affects everything. How you move, how you think, how you feel.
Not just physical health, but mental health too.
Every culture taught us the same lesson in different ways.
You cannot trade your health for anything.
Not for money, not for productivity, not even for experiences.
When your health slips, your world gets much smaller very quickly.
And when it is strong, even simple days feel rich.
Without health, even paradise feels bad.
It's true. The body is the first home.
Life lesson number 8. Choose your own path. There are invisible rules everywhere.
Unspoken expectations about how life is supposed to look.
Where to go, how to be, what success should feel like.
Most people follow them without realizing they are rules at all.
That is what autopilot looks like.
Travel made those rules easier to see.
Peak season versus shoulder season is a small example.
When everyone goes at the same time, it feels normal to do the same.
But normal is not the same as intentional.
We started asking a different question. Is this what we really want?
Not what is expected, not what looks right from the outside.
Just what fits us.
Choosing differently does not mean rejecting structure or responsibility.
It means taking ownership.
If you do not decide how you want to live, that decision will be made for you.
And the longer you give away that choice, the harder it is to take back.
Which brings us to the next life lesson.
Life lesson number 9. Life is more about the journey than the destination.
We hear this all the time, but living it is different than agreeing with it.
It is easy to turn life into a checklist.
Places to see, goals to hit, and boxes to tick.
When that happens, the destination becomes a form of status.
And chasing status rarely leads anywhere meaningful.
Travel slowed us down enough to notice the in-between moments.
The ordinary days, the routines, and the small unplanned experiences.
In Turkey, we did not rush toward famous sites.
We rode the ferry across the Bosphorus from Europe to Asia.
We wandered malls, walked neighborhoods, and stepped into a mosque for the first time.
None of it felt like a compromise.
It felt like living.
Direction matters more than speed.
Life is not something you arrive at.
It is something you experience while you are on the way.
And when you stop rushing to arrive, you realize just how much is always changing.
Life lesson number 10. Change is constant.
We put ourselves into unique situations because our life requires constant adjustment.
We've had to embrace change because we're always in new places with new routines and new definitions of normal.
At first, we thought all that change would make us anxious.
Instead, it did the opposite.
Once we stopped resisting change, fear of the future loosened its grip.
Change is not something that happens occasionally.
It is happening all the time.
We cling because we want certainty.
But certainty is often an illusion.
Growth happens outside your comfort zone.
And comfort slowly kills.
Letting go did not make life unstable.
It made us more adaptable,
More trusting.
more at peace with what comes next.
Embracing change did not take anything away from us.
It taught us how to move with life instead of against it.
What you resist persists.
The most meaningful lesson of all. Out of all these lessons, there is one that surprised us most of all.
Not because it was dramatic, but because it quietly changed everything.
The most meaningful lesson for us was realizing how little we actually needed.
As soon as we started letting go of things, opportunities opened up.
Not just practically, but mentally, emotionally, physically.
We felt lighter, clearer, more available to what was in front of us.
And it did not stop with physical items.
Once we learned how to let go of excess stuff, we started letting go of excess in other areas too.
Unnecessary commitments, old habits, mental clutter, etc.
What remained was what mattered most, and it grew.
And it grew. In our next week's video, we go deeper into this.
By sharing some of the specific things we realized we did not need, and what replaced them.
If it's already been a week, then that video will be right here.